But yeah, upon further investigation, it just unraveled like a ball of yarn in terms of so many of the same things they do in other events and so many things that don't actually line up with like a whole bunch of factors. Yeah, the ballistics, there's so many factors of it. And
Yeah. One
it's
week
like that.
after, they give us the mainstream story, yeah, from Jack Patel, yeah, and that's all, yeah. And nobody talks about this anymore. So
What's he talking about? TFE?
No, we're talking about Charlie
Charlie
Kirk.
Kirk.
TFE is real. They just went to Antarctica. Charlie Kirk is
Who
fake. Yeah.
did? Oh,
We're
I
gonna
thought
send
Charlie
you,
Kirk was
bro.
in Antarctica.
We're gonna send you. We're gonna
I
send
hope so.
you, Rusted Soul, and QOP. You guys
I
gotta
hope
go
so.
check it out for us.
That's right.
Can you peep it for us? Can you peep the sun?
Bro,
And you
Rusted
have to.
Soul, bro.
Here's your task, dude. Here's your
She's
task.
so beautiful, bro.
Here's your task. You have to get all the footage to convince everyone else who thinks it's fake that it is real. So whoever's the most people that think it's fake, we're gonna send them, and they have to get the footage to show everyone else that it actually is there. That there is a 24-hour sun there. Do you think you can do it? Are you up for it?
I don't even care about the sun. But yeah, I'd love to do it. Who's going to pay for my trip?
Yeah. We got you.
You're going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for the trip to Antarctica?
Yeah, man. You guys.
No, I said who? Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah, we can get these refund checks. We're gonna string them together. You're there.
We got it. Covered. Might not be this fall though. Maybe next fall. Probably not right this one. There's only like a month away. So or this winter.
April 1st.
Maybe there's still time. I don't know.
Huh? Oh, because you can only see the 24-hour sun at a certain time of the year?
Yeah. Probably next year is looking more like what it's going to be.
Probably. I heard the 360 studio is under repair right now.
For real, if you went, I mean, we're on Charlie Kirk, but we could shift off it. Either way, I mean, the Charlie Kirk thing is we've been on it for a minute, but just since you brought this up real quick, like we go back to Charlie Kirk or whatever. But if you went, right, and in everything you experience, it's the sun. Like you feel the heat of it, you know the sun, you've seen the sun, the energy of it. I don't know if you're spiritual, like the electromagnetic, whatever, like all kinds of whatever you think, the sun. And you're there and you're like, this is the sun, bro. Like this is the sun. And you do all the tests you want to do. Would you be convinced it is the sun, or would you somehow think would you have some thought that it was a fake sun?
I mean, I out of the whole thing, I think the sun is such a moot point out of it all. Even though they say that that's the reason they win it, it's such a moot point. It's almost doesn't even matter at this point. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
No, I don't. Explain this. Explain yourself.
It's a pretty big problem for the Gleason's map, model idea. So it's pretty just.
Map
I mean, I would even go as far as to say that.
Gleason's map.
No, I hear you. Yeah, if you're not a Gleason's or a person who's into Gleason's, I hear you. But I mean, I would even go as far as to say it's like fatal for the AE map. But some would say it's not. But I have some reasons as to why it is. But I'm not trying to like push that hard or like push it onto people or tell them it's fatal or whatever. Try to debate them. But I do think that. I mean, it's not only that; it's the Southern Stars actually are already a huge fatal issue.
Yeah, but they didn't videotape any Southern Stars. I'm talking about the TFE.
No, I know, but if you have a single poll, if you have a single poll like Gleason's, pizza disc kind of map, I'm joking, but you know what I mean by pizza. It's like you have the center and then the outer thing. If you have that and the sun is always circling Polaris, it would never circle Sigma Octantis. You know what I mean? So that's the second poll. Like if you got some shit circling your right eye, it would never go over and start circling your left eye. You'd have to have a 2-pole system for that. You know what I mean? But on a globe,
I don't know.
It kind of does on a globe because of how they commandeer the celestial sphere. It would do that, but on a Gleason's with one pole, it would always circle Polaris, whereas down there it's circling the South Pole.
That's if they even went, though. You know what I mean? I don't even think they went, bro. So I don't think any of that stuff's real because there's no footprints. You know what I mean?
But if we send you, that's what I'm saying. If we send you and you peep it out, are you gonna say it's real then? If you go there?
You gonna bring a chisel so
If
you
I
can
get
make some
paid off,
footprints?
if I get paid enough money, I'll say anything's real or fake. You know what I mean?
If it's
You're
just
gonna
the
do that?
if it's just the footprints, I got you this winter. I'm gonna show you what it's like up north.
Oh, yeah.
You walk right in the snow with no prints. You'll see.
Oh, really? Kind of
there
like
were
when I go to the police station. You know,
There-
they dip my hand in ink, but they press it on the paper, and nothing.
I
No,
made
but
some
there were-
snow in my. Go ahead.
There were footprints though in the TFE. Remember the one I
The one you
took
tried to show me, and I
screenshot
was like, dude, that's not even. That's just. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, they're not gonna be consistent when it's that
Oh,
cold
then
out.
they're not at all.
No, they
Well,
never
that
are.
was definitely like added new footprints. It was one of the time lapses. I'm trying to see if I have it saved in my folder, but
All right.
it was clearly like new footprints were being added every time they walked out to the cameras.
Yeah.
No, but my question was more like we could get into all that stuff, but I'm just saying like if you went and it was real AF and you're not gonna like be paid to like not because you're saying if you're paid to lie, you'll lie. Well, that I don't know. I don't recommend that, but if that's it's gonna be some bad karma. But I'm just saying, if you went and were just being truthful, what if you were paid to be truthful? How about that? You're paid 10 grand extra to be truthful. Then what? Now you're being paid to be truthful, and you went and you experienced fully the sun. Would you come back and be like, you know what, guys, there is a 24-hour sun there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Well, what if what
It's
would
not,
you?
it's not like
you
at this point. It's not like at this point. It has to be fake for my ego or anything like that. Like fuck, I don't care. Mm-hmm.
If you experience it as real as the real sun you see every day, like in that way, you get sunburn and all that stuff. Would you in any way think that was a fake sun, or would you be like, nah, dude, that's the sun?
Well, I mean, if I actually was able to go there, then that would be completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think they went there. You know, I don't think they did. That's just my. I mean, like
How would you
that's
pay
just my
somebody?
opinion, though.
How would you pay someone to be truthful?
Right?
Well,
Money.
with money.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
How different
Like
would
they
these
could lie
debates
anyway,
be?
right?
How different would these debates be if it's like you get $1,000? Like, okay, the person who is the most genuine and good faith and intellectually honest and willing to honestly concede, not just fake concede, but honestly concede when it intellectually makes sense, all that stuff, they get $1,000, and then the the runner up or whatever, the opponent guy, he still gets like 500. How different would these discussions be if the most genuine got double the amount or something like that? Or you could just say the most genuine one gets 1,000, the other one gets nothing. But I think it'd be cool to at least give both people
Well,
something.
how would how would they prove that though? Genuine. That's like if we don't have the ability to look inside somebody's heart and see if they're telling the truth or not, like a godlike ability, then wouldn't it just be of an opinionated nature of who's the most genuine?
You'd have to get a real objective judge. Yeah.
Well, you
Also,
could have
I feel like you would
like
be
a court.
overcompensating.
You could have like a court
Did you
scenario
say
where you have
global
like
compensating?
you could have like a panel of judges kind of thing, or like a jury, and then you could have like a judge or even multiple judges. You could have like multiple like layers of detection, as it were. Whether the person. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
Maybe work.
Did you just say global compensating?
No, I said overcompensating. If someone's
I'm
being
gonna start
judged on
using
their
that word.
honesty, they might like.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna start using that global compensating though. That's a good one, even though you didn't say it.
Well, I'll still take the credit.
It's fair
Glober
game.
compensate like instead of overcompensate. That's pretty funny, actually.
Hell
That's a
yeah, I key that shit.
Yeah, you could be like, when the Globers say like there's refraction to make the curve not be there and it's all flattened out.
Yeah,
You could be like, dude, you're just Glober compensating, man. Too much refraction.
right. Straight up.
funny.
Fuck.
All right, well, I mean, dude, like, no, it doesn't make like that big of a difference in the end, but it's just the Gleason's map. Like, it is a problem for that. And the thing is, dude, if the Gleason's map is a deception in addition to the globe, then it actually would be important that, you know, those who are speaking truth would not be speaking, you know, having a wrong thing or whatever, you know, ultimately is be good. Like if we're going to go out and, you know, if we're going to let the world know that the earth is actually planar and stationary, that's good. But if we don't know something, we should just not know. But I'm just saying to have something wrong is never a good thing ultimately. So just if whatever is wrong, like if the no 24-hour sun thing, if that's wrong and that was linked to flat earth, quote unquote. So anyone thinking about the earth being planar, stationary, you know, it doesn't even have to be the flat earth ice wall thing, but just anyone who thinks the earth is stationary and planar is now getting tagged with a no 24-hour sun thing. And if that's false, then yeah, it's important that that's, you know, that misinformation is not continued to be promulgated ideally. Not that I'm like policing, not that I would ever want to like police other people what they say, but I'm just saying if you're gonna want to make a positive impact, it's good not to have some like completely fatally wrong thing in what you're saying.
Right. I guess there's really no way to prove it one way or the other, huh? Right?
Depends what you mean by prove.
There's a way to prove it.
I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubtski. Unequivocal.
Well, if you're in like, I mean, if you could independently like go from the United States and you see that huge road, well, okay, you get south enough to where you can see the southern rotation, you know, opposite of the northern one, and you see that massive like star trail thing, and you go to the equator, and then you keep going south, and you just keep going right to that south pole, like the Sigma Octantis thing. You just keep walking towards it, walking. Every night you see it, you still see it, you're going towards it, and as you get towards it, it gets higher and higher. And then if you get all the way to a point like where you are very close to the center of that, like they were at 80 degrees, which is like 10 degrees off from the center. So if you're like 10 degrees off from the center and the sun transitioned from like arcing the way it does in the south when you were in like South America, and then when you get south, it completely rotates around you, then yeah, I mean, you verified like all the way from the north, all the way going to that South Pole, and then having that sun circle you at that South Pole, which you can also do 6 months later in the north. You can walk towards Polaris and you can see the 24-hour sun in the north. So if you can see that, then it would mean that we live on a two-pole system, not a singular pole, Gleason's map. So it's pretty significant in terms of that. I mean, the star trails are already doing that though, so you don't really need the sun. Like the star trails are already doing that, but if you add the sun, it definitely kind of puts the full picture together more.
So what if there's a 24-hour sun, but
it means we would live on a two-pole planar Earth.
No, what if there's a 24-hour sun somewhere in the world?
What if we can just see it? And what if we can just see the sun in the south, and that's why we see it?
Well, this happens when well, you know how you got like the Tropic of Cancer, 23.4 degrees north of the equator. Then you got the equator, and then the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.4 degrees south of the equator. Well, when this effect is happening in the north, the sun is obviously all the way north on the Tropic of Cancer. And then 6 months later, when this is happening in the south, the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn. So that implies that like they're actually seeing the full circuit of the sun on the Tropic of Capricorn, just like we see it on the Tropic of Cancer. So it implies a complete two-pole system, which means it has two fixed poles to the Earth, and then the land, you know, being planar would have to be somehow extended between that. So it would just not be the Gleason's AE map, essentially. It'd be a two-pole.
Yeah.
You always say that. I don't know anything about that.
Or you can wrap it around a ball and make it a globe and pretend it's a globe, and then you'd have two poles as well that way. And two 24-hour suns. Their glob thing like kind of makes sense. Well, I would not say it makes the most sense, but I do see how the square peg kind of fits into the square hole enough to kind of maybe wiggle it and jiggle it in there to where it's like, okay, I hear you. Like that's why the globe has been pulled off like this. But it's just that we live in a realm that has sacred geometry that has a certain spherical nature to it, like the sky does over a planar surface. and that can be interpreted as a globe. So yeah, I mean, I understand why the
The bottom of the pyramid fits into a square hole.
Yep. But dude, being on the bottom of a ball, like that really doesn't make sense. You're like upside down, being clung. Like, dude,
Yeah.
you're just upright when you're there. Like everything's upright. So that part does not make the most sense. That you're stuck to the bottom of a ball, seeing a sun that's 93 million miles away, and just perfectly rotating on the bottom of a ball to see it. It starts to break down.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Right. Gravity.
Yeah, it's really both of these
Gravity.
places have both these in the north and the south. It's consistent air temperature that you would have in common, and this air temperature, right? That's the crux. We all know that.
Gravity. It's all gravity.
It's an optical effect, I guess. That we could see the sun even doing this kind of shit. It's an optical effect that you can't see it. You know, it's always in the same fucking place. It's just the weather changes, and we're able to see shit differently. There's no necessary. We don't have to change the magnetic configuration. You know what I mean, to account for what is essentially optics, and like I guess an effect that is like raising you in altitude because of the coldness of the air, and you'll just have to deal with it. That is an unscientific and naive way to say it, but that's my thinking.
I feel like it's a little too consistent to be based on weather, though.
Yes, air temperature.
Yeah, I mean,
air temperature. It's always the fucking same. At a
check
certain
this image
altitude,
out.
right? It's
Sorry, go ahead. This is the sun like directly south. Look at the local lighting. That's so local, dude. That's not 93 million miles away, just by fact. If all that light was hitting evenly, the whole sky would be lit evenly. Completely doesn't match that. But yeah, I grabbed that screenshot. That is the sun in the south. Like that's a little bit like southwest technically, but it's almost due south. So on an AE kind of situation, imagine like the North Pole would be like behind you in that picture. You know what I mean? So the sun just should not be over there if it was always circling Polaris. That's why, yeah, like it circles two poles. So basically, the only like I'm not all like asserting some kind of specific dual pole idea or model or anything like that. I'm just saying the way the sky works with the GPS and the star rotations and the sun. The only thing it can be is a two-pole planar Earth or a globe. I guess you could maybe say a concave thing, but I think the concave.
Nice try, Geo. That sucks.
I know it's a dual pole flat Earth or a globe.
Yeah, that's.
What do you think?
I agree with that.
Nope.
Snax says no. Manufactotum says yes.
Definitely not. You can't. You're pasting two things. Like if not this, then it has to be this. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
then
crazy.
do you have? Can I ask you if you have a counter argument for this? Okay, you know how we have the two star rotations. If you were to freeze frame,
although I've never seen that myself. You know.
Okay, but we do. I mean, okay, but there's one in the south that looks like the one in the north. But I hear you if you haven't seen it. Okay, but I just wonder if Snax or if you have a counter argument for this. If you froze time, you just stopped the sky, and then you went under the ground position, the GP of every single star, and you put a little flag in the ground and you label it like star number 1, star number 2. So you freeze the sky so it's not moving. You walk all around the earth and you put little flags in the ground under every single star. And they're in that position once every 24 hours, obviously. So, freeze framing is just for the analogy. But you could do it at the same time every night and get the same position of stars and do your flags over like months of time if you wanted. So it is practical.
I don't even agree with that though. Like every flag is different.
Let me just finish to see if you have a counter. Anyone has a counter argument. So if we did that, we put flags under the GP of every star, and then when the sky is frozen, if we then went around the Earth and looked at what that is, it would be two huge swirls on the ground of flags of the way the star trails look, but on the ground. And then at the equator, they would all go straight. That would mean that there's one GP for every single thing. That would mean that those poles are fixed, and they're fixed to fixed positions on the ground. And I wonder, does anyone have any argument against that that's what it would make is two huge flag rotations and not one the way the AE map would? And it would do that on the globe too, but it would be a kind of around a ball. But
yeah, where I interrupted you to that point that I would have disagreed with what you said about the flags being underneath the GP, all that, and because that's going to change like every day. You're not going to get the same thing every day. So
No, but
That's
it
where I
is
would
the
have
same.
disagreed with it. So,
Well, like every 23 hours and 56 minutes later, they are in the exact same spot every
well,
day.
they're not going to be at the same angle, like to the whole sky, the whole star plane, unless you believe that that's entirely flat itself. But the sky appears to be tilted. So if it's tilted and turning, that you won't have the same lineup tomorrow because everything is moving. Because time, you cannot stop. If you could do the same day every day, then you would be correct, Gio. But I think you're incorrect. And I'm gonna go have another
Well,
cup of coffee.
If you lived like under one of the stars in the Big Dipper, let's say, like every time, like once a day, if your house was at the GP of one of the stars of the Big Dipper, like once every day, that star would pass right over your house. So like
With a two-pole
there every day.
flat, with a two-pole flat model, how many suns would there be?
Just one. Manufact totem, you're kind of hot, Mike. Yeah. I don't see any indication of any more than one sun. I mean, the star constellations change throughout the year based on the seasons. Like in some areas, like depending on where you are, like in the north, you see that rotation all year round, Polaris and stuff. But that's why the Celestial Almanac gives the GP of every star. Yeah, I mean, Snax, if the stars were relative and not fixed, then yeah, something else could be going on. But I'm saying if they are fixed, then there's really
no
no
one,
other way it could be than a two-pole flat Earth.
no,
If they're fixed.
no one measured this. They tell us there's the phenomena of precision, yeah, that the sky is moving all 27 years 1 degree, right? Yeah, is that what you mean, Snacks? Or I mean, I haven't seen such measurements. Yeah, what Geo describes.
Well, I'm just talking about the GPs of the stars. Like it means the position where you're directly underneath the star on the ground.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Like during the equinox when the sun is on the equator, like the GP of the sun on that day is like every point along the equator or whatever. So I'm just saying if you freeze frame the sky and if you went and put a flag under every GP, you could show that those GPs are there every 24 hours, actually 23 hours 56 minutes for a sidereal day. It's 4 minutes shorter than, or 4 minutes shorter than a solar day. This 24 hours. That's how fast the stars go around. So like yeah, then they're in consistent positions unless that could be proven otherwise. Meaning that like I said, if you lived right under one of the stars of the Big Dipper, like every 23 hours and 56 minutes, that star would be directly above you. And only above you. Like no other place on the earth, but only you.
So
So
the problem with
if you put a flag in the
problem
ground,
with
yeah, that would represent the GP. And then if you have all the flags, you have two huge poles on the earth.
so the problem with that theory is if you're in Australia looking south, you see the same stars as if you're in South America looking south. And if we were on a flat plane, it wouldn't make sense. That's why I always thought it was a reflection. I have no idea, but the stars in the southern hemisphere are the only evidence that I can find personally that would back up the globe model. So I will give you that, but that's why I always thought they were a reflection, because that's the only thing that kind of makes sense. So just my 2 cents. Thank you.
I'm kind of curious since you brought it up. Because on a globe, like the discrepancy between a solar day and a sidereal day makes perfect sense with the rotation with reference to the sun and then the orbit inching sort of that becomes 4 minutes less each time. Like what's the implication of that on a flat earth? Like why did that happen?
Yeah, it's why they had to make the sun orbiting or the earth orbiting the sun. They only did that because of the sidereal day difference with the solar day. Like in my viewpoint, in the reverse engineering of the globe model, they had to do that in order to account for the sidereal day. But I mean, over a planar stationary Earth, it would just be that the stars move at a slightly different rate than the sun. Meaning that
Well, it's not the only reason.
the stars move at 23 hours 56 minutes every rotation. So if you're in one spot, 23 hours 56 minutes later, the sky will look exactly the same. 23 hours 56 minutes after that, it will look exactly the same again. 23 hours 56 minutes. That's when it's like when the car goes around the track and it gets back to the starting line. And then the sun is 24 hours.
Everything has to be
moon
flat
is-
though.
The moon is 24 hours 50 minutes, so it's slower. And then all the Mercury and Mars and all those all like move at their own rates too. But yeah, it would just be that the stars are moving at a slightly faster rate than the sun above us.
Yeah. Well, it's not the only reason, right, that they concocted that model. Like, it's also the position of the sun throughout the year, having summer in the south and summer in the north and summer in winter and such.
Do you guys fancy that Orion? Well, I don't know theory, the Orion constellation theory, that most civilizations appreciated that constellation because it's an equatorial constellation, meaning you can follow it. It also like bears like ordinate points towards the north, so it acts like a compass itself. The constellation will denote north to you. If you know the triangle head. You guys heard of that, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, and even the Giza pyramid has that Orion belt in it, but there's also a
Sure,
Ural
we all know that.
pyramid in Russia, and it has the same Orion constellation, but mirrored to the one in Giza. The ancients knew damn well we had two mirrored images of the stars.
I believe Angkor Wat also bears the same idea. Anyway, yeah. Was just thinking of that. That it disappears for a period of time, right, from the sky. If you watch, right, it's going to go away for I don't know how many months it is. In the north,
Yeah, but there's a separation between the two stars, between the two star rotations. Basically, that is Orion's belt.
it's not a zodiac sign, but it's like it seems to be important to the ancient people.
I know the belt points towards Taurus. It's the first I've heard that it points north, though. Like, can you use Orion to find the Polaris?
Yeah, you can make him. Basically, you can create a triangle out of his head. So the triangular headed Orion, that the point of that goes north.
Have you ever looked at the volcanoes on Mars and their layout?
I don't fancy that Mars is a rock planet.
Well, the maps of the maps that are known of Mars, of the volcanoes, is the layout of Orion's belt. The layout of Orion's belt and most other volcanic objects, they are laid out into the shape of the constellation.
Hey, Stargaze, you have a staticky kind of digital background issue with your mic. It's like buzzing.
I'll mute myself.
Well, no, if it's all right, we can hear you, but it's a little hard to hear you. No, I just don't know if you could fix your mic, maybe.
Yeah, it might be a plug connection issue.
It shouldn't be. Can you hear it now?
It's like a little ghosty in digital.
It's when you're speaking.
That's weird.
Yeah, but you're right about those volcanoes. And even Karl Monk talks about those volcanoes on Mars being in direct line with the temples in South America. So what they're telling us that is out in space is lands in the same waters we are living in.
I don't interpret it that way, but you're more than welcome to think that there are planets out there.
I didn't say there were planets out there. I said there's more lands in our waters. Something totally different, Snax.
Well, whatever. I just think that there are a lot of geometries that do line up, and I don't believe it's because that they're planets, but I believe that they all share the same origin points, and we can trace them back.
Yeah, but if you
That's
look at
kind of what I think. And then
everything on
man
Earth,
is trying to recreate those symmetries that he sees in these stars and
yeah,
planets.
but what is light? Light is electromagnetic radiation, and it needs an object to be seen by us. So if you ask me, those stars are nothing more than reflections of everything what is in the waters below.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to marshal this conversation in terms of my ideas, but I just wanted to open it up because there are really many other stories of this, and also like I guess the beginnings of the use of a staff to be able to sight things, to be able to tell distances. So it's just a simple staff with a cross member in it. You're able to figure out distances. So this is, I guess, similar to like a shepherd's staff. It's also called the staff of Jacob or Jacob. And then there's that the whole Jacob thing is a lot like the Orion thing. I just think like really all cultures have like a way that they've incorporated this together. But
Yeah, but if you look at that staff, Snax, it's connected
equatorial,
to the
so you
snake.
can travel with it.
It's connected to the snake, and we have a constellation, the snake, as well.
I don't know. I would also say that there's Orion connections to the Snake Mound in Ohio, and that even appears to be a totally different type of religious appreciation. Like that's an Orphic egg and a snake, man. So that's a whole different type of culture, but they're still using those same stars in that. Like the Orion constellation interacts with that landform that they've made. It's like a land calendar,
Yeah, but even the natives have that with the little bear and the big bear. If you look at their stories, and that is tied to the land masses as well.
I guess these 24-hour sun sightings, like I suppose like I talk about my my high altitude flight in over Chicago, and that the sun came back. It was like nighttime. It was nighttime for everybody underneath me. We jumped way up and the sun came back bright as could be. And I would guess to say that there is something that's, I guess, acting like pseudo altitude at these observation points, so that that enables us to see the sun for all that time. And I'm pretty sure if I could have just froze the plane in time right where I was at 56,000 feet, probably the sun just would have circled right around, So I guess that I believe it's like some kind of optical phenomena that we see it. And it's a bunch of different things working together to cause it. Like regular natural things, just I'm not ready to change shapes or models of poles or anything like that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That it goes back into the flower of life. And Ken Wheeler made a video about it, and that lost his name. The one Roger, the one with those triangles they made fun of, with this 1 times 1 equals with that strange number thing. But those angles he was talking about of that 137 degrees point something. But there was Ken Wheeler came about with that 85-degree angle that is on those two angles. But if you take that back to the flower of life and how the whole Earth grid is built up with all the ancient structures and how those circles align and how Monk made a really nice video about it with how they with the nuclear blast, how they did that on all those Earth lines to make a picture of the sky above us. And if you look at all the NASA research with the sodium layer being at about 80 kilometers to about 140 kilometers above the surface, and if you take that to a degree, to a circle where the arc length is the same as the radius as of that radian of that circle, and you take that back to that 90 degree, that is 90 kilometers up. That is our ceiling. And everybody's always talking about that Earth radius. The whole globe model is based also on that 90-degree angle. And if you take that back all to the flower of life, and even with the Eye of Ra is just a connection in between two circles of the grid.
I need like the cheat code for God mode so we can just like zoom out of this thing and then just understand it. It's really confounding to try and
Yeah, that's
piece all
called
these things together. Sorry.
That's called it's called dimethyltryptamine. DMT. That'll do it.
It's just hard to like really like when you were explaining that setup before, right? Like I close my eyes and like I imagine all this shit going on like it's a fucking NASA cartoon, right? Like I do. I try to process all that stuff. Everything I do, I do try to like find this like space. I vision it up. Like I'm like, cool. That's like I'm not forcing it. It's just not, you know. I get it to that point, and I'm like, cool. I think I at least understand it in my brain. Whatever. I might not completely get it right, but all these things like they require so much. And, like they require like imagination and attention and like it's a hard thing to like put all these ideas together, and then some of them are going to be like argumentative things, man, like to deduce like a truthful whole model that you actually believe in that's not like associated because somebody else needs to know something. Do you know what I mean? Like this is it's like a scrapbooking
How
fucking
everything
thing.
moves in our skies.
I might as well start a scrapbook
With
collection.
that clockwise and that anti-clockwise rotation in the east and the west hemisphere, it's separated. That you have in the west hemisphere, you have that anti-clockwise turning, and in the east hemisphere, you have that clockwise turning. The sun does the same. And what I'm thinking is, everybody's always thinking that light is circling us. But what if that light is not circling us, but is moving from the bottom of the system to the top of the system? If you look at the water vortex, how that's turning when it's going into your sink, I think our world is more like that, and it's an oscillation, and everything in it is moving up and moving back down.
I've considered that. Yeah, there it could occur like that, but I don't.
Because we have those vortexes. Our world is those vortexes.
I'm just saying, like, if you have like a spinny system, like a record, you know what I mean? Like, there's probably a way in which like we could turn the whole record by having like some kind of component that moves up and down. Let's say. Like,
yeah, but if you load those all tolls, you can push in, and that starts swirling up and down. I think it's something like that. It's an oscillation, because everything we measure is oscillation.
But that, I mean, if I just put myself like, oh, maybe it works totally like you don't think it does, you know, like maybe it's going up and down, not around and round. Like, and then, well, how do the optical how does that all transform to us seeing it going around and around? So I look at things like that, and there's some systems you can change easily into another system.
Yeah, but
You know.
everything is managed by hot and cold. The higher you go up, the colder it gets. But the deeper you go, the hotter it gets. And even if you look at how everything transforms for the matter from one state to another, it's all controlled by temperature and by pressure. When you want to go from
Well,
liquid or superfluid back to a solid, you need high pressure instead of low pressure. And that is what we don't have in our sky.
well, we have like alternating levels of temperature, right? So as they move in like bands and stuff, they're all like laminar, like sheets of atmosphere. But there are
Yeah, but it
different
shows you that
temperatures for
there's
what they
expansion
get
and
colder.
compression in it. That is what hot and cold do. It expands and it compresses.
Yeah, it's just there's light, sun, it heats up air. So different things, hot, different places. It all moves around. Yeah, you're right. It does. Like if you could even press the pause button on this whole thing, it might be helpful, you know, just to really stop time and be like, oh, okay, this is there, that's there.
No, you don't want to do that.
You
When
can't.
everything comes to a
No,
full stop, everything that is on the move is going to move until it hits something to stop again.
yikes! I'm talking about a pause button because this is not a video game, you know. But if you could, then it'd be easier to deduce things. Whereas everything is like happening at the same time. Like there is sunlight, but it's also creating like whatever that F1 radio band at certain times of the day, and then there's also the atmosphere, and then there's all, you know what I mean, like on and on. Like it's
Yeah,
impossible
but
to
that's
isolate
because
the system.
they out of the equations they took out the background wavefront of the wavefront, and that's where they went wrong.
They took out the back wavefront of the. Okay, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I'll be back.
I'll put the video back in the live stream. It has to do with Planck's constant shrinking in those vortexes. Yeah, now I know what the one with that 85 degree and that sun only rising to 90 degree. And with that flight, you're saying that sun reappeared. That is 5 degree angle of that sun to be in our system.
It was just like normal. It was like far away, but it's like, I guess it's like not a side of the sun you would have normally like caught. I don't know. There's some
but it
kind of like
might
layer
mean
of
that
ice
that
up
sun
there.
is moving linear over our world and not circling our world, meaning it's moving in between all the fields.
My thing is like that there's some kind of like layer of ice that just like drifts, it creeps like as the sun go away. Then it get cold. It get real froze like. Maybe it's not frozen during a lot of the day. Maybe all that extra energy during the sun is just like kind of keeps it from crystallizing. But once it crystallizes, it is able to deflect light, and it is able to deflect the light so that you have dark time, nighttime, as we call it. And then that's what I believe is going on. And then nobody knows this. So that's my plight in life.
If you look at with what the oscillation also can do with magnetism and with the polarization of the sky, that it even can change the color of the sky. I think it's more like some kind of chemical reaction due to polarization of the sky itself that it changes color.
What is polarizing the light? Why do you figure that the blue sky is polarized light? If the sun is not a polarized light signal, then how is the blueness of the sky
Yeah, I
polarized?
don't know exactly how, but there was some oscillation that happens when with the magnet inside a liquid, and how it reacts and how that liquid eventually changes color, but it's the wrong color. So I'm still looking for the real chemical reaction that would give the right colors.
Oh, you don't know why the sky's blue?
Eye effect. Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea with the gases and everything. It's more chemical reactions, I believe.
I think that there might be some kind of chemical reactions that go on with like nitrogen.
Yeah, but even if you have certain gases, when you ignite them with oxygen, they give a certain color. So that might be just the thing that is going on.
Like a cloud can represent all kinds of colors. A cloud can be prismatic, basically. Ice itself is just going to create prism. So like you're going to get colors out of stuff. That's why, I mean, you don't see like a blue cloud hanging out or a red cloud like out of nowhere, right? Obviously that doesn't happen, but as the total, whatever the humidity gradient is, the temperature, all that stuff, and then the types of the clouds, and then the angle of the sun, you can light these clouds up like they're a kaleidoscope, if you could catch them right from the right angle. And if you're close enough to it, to where the cloud is, you would see that effect more. It'd be more grand, but from the ground, it looks pretty cool. Like fringes on clouds, these like rainbow fringes and stuff like that. I do anyway. I pay attention to that shit.
I always love watching the sunset. So you get all those bright colors, sometimes pink, orange, but that is more an interaction of gases. But if you look at what's magnetic field, having a vertical and a horizontal, that makes me think that sun is more the crossroad of those two fields that is moving over our world.
Yeah, it's definitely managed. Like it's a flux capacitor. Like a lot of fluxes are moving through that sun guy.
Exactly. It's a crossroad of two fields.
I like I have like a field design for what I think I like, based on, who was it? It's not Heinrich Hertz. It's somebody else. Fuck. I got too much information in my head. I can't find it all. But that field, basically, it never crosses itself. So it's just like a continual linear curl that moves around from Well, it's front side to the back side. So it looks like almost like two wings. I just like the model for something that's being moved, like a moving field, that like the sun seems to be.
Exactly.
Right. Like it's got to have a
Yeah, but
shape,
even if you look
a
at the
profile kind of like that benefits it, that makes it easy for that to go on like that. Everything that happens is easy, so it's already built like in cheat code.
Yeah,
It's
but if
already,
you look at
If you look at the flower of life and how that is built up from the center out, and if you look at our North Pole being the lowest area in our world, and everything from that moves up to Antarctica, and if you take that as a flower of life and you put that in a vortex, basically going from the bottom up to the top, that's
yeah,
what
you
I'm
lose me
thinking.
there, but I'm not sure what to think about flower of life to vortex. But to me, the flower of life is a lot like just like a gridded map in a way, or gridding in a way, but it's with circles.
Yeah, but if you look at our oceans move in between the North Americas and Eurasia, and they go around those tectonic plates and come back to Antarctica and flow right straight into, that is an electric circuit you're looking at. But that would mean that we're not at the center of the field, but on one side of the field.
And then what do you bottom top field? Is that where you're at? Like one field is the bottom, one field is the sky.
Yeah. I think the east-west field is connected and the north-south field is connected, but I think the east-west is not the height difference between the north and south is bigger than in the east and the west, and that's why we have that slight tilt in our world. That is the east-west height difference, basically.
I don't know if I can get with that. But I don't know. For me, I feel like the sun's pretty crazy. Sky gets cold. Sky always has to warm up in the morning. So the sun is always thawing out the sky to some degree or another every morning.
Yeah, but the true heat comes from the earth itself, not from the sun.
So if you allow me to
That's what
continue with the
always
thought
bothered
here,
me.
the nature of the approaching sun's light must be then filtered through and absorbed by some of this layer. So it takes a little bit of time for the sun to actually feel like full strength in the morning. No?
Yeah, it takes a while for it to heat up.
So then at that point, like let's say it gets to 10 o'clock, noon, right? It's already normalized everywhere that's above you, that you'll go. Now there's like what is ahead of the sun that is not, like from your noon. So like everything that's west has not really totally been heated up yet. So it's cutting through all that stuff. And then it has already thawed all the other stuff out. And everywhere that's behind it, like it's all freezing up, right? Because there's no sun to kind of keep it gaseous, right? It's going to crystallize.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Makes no sense.
But there's always this domino series that's like everything collapses behind the sun and everything in front of the sun's wavefront opens, right? It's expanding. Everything behind it is always shrinking. So it's like, for that reason, it makes sense that like something could operate locally, like local enough to us, and still be energetically tied into it to where it actually is like, I don't know. Maybe it sucks a partial magnetic energy from like every dipole of water. You know what I mean? And then maybe every dipole of water, it's sort of, it could, like at nighttime, like it just sort of drifts a little bit, maybe falls down, goes to sleep. You know what I mean? The dipoles they get sleepy time, and the sun wakes them up. Bam! There's like an immediate reaction. So it's like it's a chain reaction that's always occurring that keeps the sun moving. Like I don't know why else the sun would be moving.
That goes into the exclusion zone and to Nikola Tesla's counter-rotating fields, and with that flow we see in our world, because that ignition, that creating of energy is always in front of it and never in the back. And that is exactly what we see with our sun happening. It's a heating up and it's a cooling down in the background because it's sucking, and the back it's sucking the energy in, and it's in the front it's pushing the energy out.
Yeah, it's like transiting that. That's why I like that one field. That's like it's like I figure it's flying that way, you know, where it's an uninterrupted line, never crosses, so it doesn't. It can purely transit that all that energy without like getting coiled up into some nonsense.
Exactly.
I don't know if that gives
That's
us a
what
quad.
they use in field propulsion as well. That's what they're spinning up.
Right. And so then I guess that I just accept that there must be a sun, even if there isn't a sun. It's because it's magnetically, like, we've set up the conditions for something to, like, I don't know, move all of these transient energies. Sun's
It's all
fucking
pressure
mysterious.
mediation.
This existence stuff, it's really weird. Yeah, pressure mediation. Yeah, gotta have that. Although I take it that any kind of sun activity with all that amount of light, like the greatest place that we could, you know, of known or terrestrial air, I guess, would be a hydrogen layer. Would be where all our birthday balloons go to, wherever that place is. Wherever all your birthday balloons go to, that's where all this light can happen because of like you know, super cold rarefied gases, you know, or pure gases that are in a crystalline form of triangular, well, triple hydrogens. And anytime you poke it, it's going to make like lots of light. It's just going to, the whole system bounces back, not unlike a superfluid or supercapacitor, I mean to say. So like the whole system gang responds back to the one point of perturbation. So it would make sense to me that you could have a sun just happening, you know, just happen. That's not science,
just
though.
above that sodium layer.
Yeah,
I would say that's exactly the degree it should be.
I don't quite understand how the sodium layer works in. I do figure that, you know, of the three main gases that we have, the nitrogen, the oxygen, the hydrogen is the most rare. Oxygen's like pretty rare, and then nitrogen is just abundant and everywhere. And that these three things like have their own relationships magnetically, electrically, and chemically to each other, and that they also divide because they have different densities, right? So
salts belong into the electrolytes. So you got the salts in sea and you got salts in sky. That's two Gaussian plates to create all the current in between all you want.
And because of the pressures, because of the temperatures, like certain kinds of chemical interaction can happen that don't occur at sea level. So like nitrous oxide is a thing that can form in the atmosphere where it doesn't form on the ground. It can form at high altitudes. Anything like a sprite or a lightning bolt or whatever like that is going to cause some amount of like probably nitric acid to be released, you know, as a result of it, just hanging out in the atmosphere. That's going to cause like other, you know, change ups too. It can cause colors, I think, too. Like I think that atmospherically that could cause like red, the appearance of a reddish sky. That believe that that's possible. I don't know that that's not happening with the blood moon thing. I'm not really sure what that whole effect is.
Yeah, the moon is weird.
It's as weird as the sun and the same size, so I put him in the same category. I said it's the same guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's the bottom and it's the top and the bottom view.
Like we see the red hot part of the sun, that's what we see, and then the top of the sun is the moon, which bounces back to us off of a reflective layer above it, and then we see it translated as the bottom of something when it's really the top of this bisexual star thing, sun moon scenario, which is offensive to most people. I don't know that it's sexual at all, but kind of, right?
Yeah, but if you're driving around with that,
I don't know, it's weird.
if you're driving around with that moon and you change direction, that moon will change side of you while you are still driving in the same direction. That tells you that you're looking at a reflection and not the actual object itself.
Yep. That's why we went there, 1969.
That's why I say there's more land.
Oh, you're thinking that like Mars is a reflection point of the Earth or something like that? Like,
No,
no?
I think Mars is
Okay.
part of the lens of the reflection on the moon.
Whoa, what? I don't even know what that means now. And I'm all out of coffee.
Look at the west lands of that moon map.
Oh, are you a moon mapper?
It's got some good points.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like I think that my ideas are fun for me. I think that they comport with Wikipedia, and that's just about science. Yeah, just about settled science. So
Yeah, but if you know that light needs an object to reflect its light off to be seen, then you know everything you're looking at, what is light, is basically a reflection of that same light energy.
yeah, I'm like a one light in the sky kind of person. I'm not sure what the stars are, but I think all the other things are just one light, basically split up. You know what I mean? Like you
If you
could
look
catch
at
a
the
reflection angle.
magnetism, and
If
how
you
it
caught a
drags
reflection,
light through a sky. What do you say about reflection?
I don't know. Like, I guess my like all the planets have like either basically like a red or bluish color, right? Sometimes a little orange, maybe. But it's like reddish. It's like only on those two sides of the color spectrum. Like they're colors that we already see in the sky. Is it possible that the sun's just a super strong source of light, and so it's going to reflect onto different like layers of cloud and not cloud? We don't really know how high the clouds go. So I don't know. I just feature that like it's possible that we're only really seeing these things because they're projected onto some kind of material. And if they weren't, if there wasn't like a background, that we wouldn't even see them to start with. And it's a presumption that they're material objects.
Yeah, exactly.
So as we see like Jupiter, it's always there, but it's always the sun. And it's always like hitting in this one layer of clouds somehow. way super upper atmosphere clouds or whatever. And we say it's a cloud planet. And it's got banding on it.
Yeah, but if you're standing, but
Yeah.
what got me with those reflections and refraction is when you're standing next to the water side and you have something reflecting in that water, and that's reflecting on a metal object again. But that mirrored image in the water gets flipped upside down on that metal pole reflection, and that always kept. If you look at everything being a reflection and how it's and in a way you could, by the way things reflect from one surface to another surface, you could determine how many layers you really have.
Sure.
So instead of discussing refraction, maybe we should refract some light altogether from one surface to another and find out which one does what.
Yeah, they already did it 100 years ago. It's called science, right? Okay.
Still are discussing it, what it does.
Yeah, lenses are a total trip. Spectroscopy is fun, but I mean, cosmic spectroscopy seems like a lot of bunk. Whatever. I just like holding my own ideas, and it's cool. They keep me satisfied. Nobody's got answers that I'll necessarily like accept off the bat anyway. In fact, like you could tell me some really true shit and I could be like, nah, I could do that, you know. I might accept it and I might not. Right? But you could, but like you can't tell me something is true. Only I can accept it as being true. Then it's true.
That's true, but I like to bounce off ideas because other people always have ideas and other way of looking at the world. And I think if we could all come together and share our ideas and how we individually look at our world, we might come to a solution of what our world really is.
Is anybody pushing against objective reality?
Nope, it's the ground your feet standing on, not.
I would say, like, what do you think about like there's objective reality, but you don't know how it's all working. So like I guess we were contemplating something like the sun, maybe it's really going up and down and it's like in the center. And it could be projecting out somehow, like in that way. Like it's hard for us to even understand how we would misperceive it, and it's I think at a certain frame of reference, it would be impossible to know if it was happening or not. Was that enough bullshit for you, Don? I think some things are like conjectural to the point where like they could be happening in a way that you don't really suspect them to be happening, but like you wouldn't know it. So I think you got to hold some like grains of salt like that to.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think I was thinking like maybe we all kind of be ignorant together, but there still is an objective reality there. We just don't know it. But I kind of wanted to tease. I wanted to hear more about, because I agree with what you say. Like we have to decide kind of that we've accepted the thing is true or something. But I just wanted to mix in like, okay, how I can blend that with objective reality. But like, objective reality is there, but I still need to, you got to do more than just say it to me or something.
Well, like it's the thing like where Jeremy will like jump in and be like, yeah, listen, we know we put fire to water, we're gonna get boiling, okay? And I'm like, no, that's oversimplification. Like every time he says it, I let him say it. I'm not gonna jump in every time. Be like, no, you could use spinning magnets. No, you could use a laser beam and whatever. There's like a million ways to fucking boil water. Probably some we don't even fucking know about.
Right.
You know, we still don't even understand really the boiling. What the fuck boiling is to me? I still don't understand. Why are the bubbles coming out? I don't know, dude. It's a mystery. But everything is boiling off. You know, like things boil off like all over the joint. We're not observing it at the level of like in a pot. You know what I mean? The things are boiling off on like you know, really thin surfaces. All kinds of stuff's going on. But that's all fluidics and craziness. How are we here, Don? What the hell, man?
It's beautiful. Supposedly that's what the comet is doing, right? It's like sublimating or boiling or something. The comets is they just are constantly boiling up there in space.
Yeah, but that's showing you that we're missing something in the process. We need to find out what that is. And everybody's always looking. But if you look at what the water boiling in a vacuum, it's the loss of the pressure thing that makes that water boil. It has nothing to do with heat. It is the amount of pressure, meaning the density in between the elements.
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's like, but then somehow stuff could get so strong. Like, it's so cute that we think that there's the, well, I think that, you know, it's cute to me, the phase model, you know, with the pressure and the temperature. It's like, there's the three phases that transition: solid, liquid, gas. And the liquid and the gas will, you know, boil off in the vacuum, but the solid, not so much. You know what I mean? It's funny that's like, it gets to this, the energy can get coherent enough to where it won't do that, or just way slower. You know what I mean? Like way slower. It's very cute.
But you need pressure to create those solids.
Right,
You
but
don't
then
have
they go
that
back
in a
to say
vacuum.
it's locked in. It's locked in pressure. I'm sorry, I'm clipping it. I'm impulsive. It's cute that they lock in the pressure, and some of the stuff though, it's not as locked in. You know, like the water just boils away. The same stuff. If the water boils, and then certain material like ice, you know, that solid won't last long at all. But another material like steel or something, supposedly that one will last long.
Well, ice is just crystal, man. So crystal can crystal forever for a while. And your watch, keep time, measure.
Metals are like
Did you say that ice? They got ice in space on moons these days. I thought we didn't have water or anything or any elements up there. Only hydrogen, helium, and lithium. So what the fuck is going on with the science?
say it's water.
That's interesting. Cloud to have lithium cloud. You know, you could plug that into your phone, charge your shit up.
I woke up with the craziest idea, dude. The absolute craziest idea I've ever thought of in my life.
I'd say fix your microphone and then let it roll, man.
All right, 10-4.
I want to hear this crazy stream.
Sally.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right, is that any better?
I think so, man.
All right. So I got to thinking about what would the lowest common denominator be between like 1 and an irrational number, like specifically pi, you know. And then I started thinking, because to solve that, you know, it's great. I mean, I'm not even that good at, you know, advanced math. So I have no idea where I can go there. But then I started thinking about, instead of like a 10 space digit system or something, what if it was like a pi number based system?
When you go from the base 10 to a base 12, pi changes.
I think I need some DMT to answer that, Don.
Well, I mean, I've had the AI try a little bit. There's some articles on it. It's very interesting. Like, I wonder what particle physics.
Well, it would be like me saying like, well, how about we create like a golden spiral or golden section, golden mean, 1.618. We'll use that as a basis for digits.
I just heard you say two different things, and I like the former. Like the latter part, it was just similar to what I said about pi. But the first instinct I had is the golden. What if the actual golden spiral was the base, where it had a Fibonacci? It had the Fibonacci. You had, instead of going 1020 or 10 100, it'd be like 1 1 2 3 5 or whatever. Like that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool until you're like, oh, what about 4, man? We need that, right? It's just weird, like because it's a ratio, you know what I mean? So like to build some like a number system off of pi is also a ratio. So it's like it's just as kind of confounding of a process to come up with like, I don't know, man. Like
everything's a ratio. I mean, even integers are ratios, kind of.
Like a number set, then. So like not 10 stuffs, like whatever pi amounts of things, if you will. Because that's like the thing. We've got like the decimal, which is like the tens. Other mathematics and other like ancient systems would have been like maybe in a base 8 or octal or something like that. So they just use a period to denote like that there's like we're beyond like the set of amount. Like if we only count that there's only we can only have up to 8, if we don't know about 9 or 10 or something like that. Anything more than 8 is like 9 becomes 10, really.
Well, it's 9 becomes 11.
Yeah,
you got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then you have to reset, and you add a 1, you add a new column, and 10 is 8. So
anything over 9 we have to go to 10. So we're basically replacing, like, it's just 1 really with that 0 almost like being a placeholder for a decimal point.
Yeah, it's all even whole numbers. It's just a ratio, or it's just a grouping. It's a grouping.
Well, yeah, like is 10 a whole number? Yes, but it's also like it's a composite digit, So like unless there was one symbol for it, I don't know, man. It gets weird to think about. It gets weird to think about. It's like, but there's a total, like a set, you know what I mean? So we're going to go from 10, we're going to go add another 0. We're going to keep stepping up like this. So I forget what it would be if like you're in base 12. Base 12 is nice, man. Like I like base 12, to be honest. It's music, basically. That's what it is.
And we have 12 constellations in the sky, so base 12 would be a lot better to treat it like that.
Yeah, 12 has awesome symmetry. Then you can take like 5 12s, stack them together. Now you got 60. It's a highly composite number. Hey, maybe we could start like sexagesimal mathematics off of this. You know what I mean? Because we have like a larger set. We know that it's consistent. Like if you only have like a small set of like variation within like some kind of calculation group, like it gets unweighted, I guess. So like the larger the group set, the greater the mathematical tolerance, I guess, that you can apply to that. It's like a gridding paper or something like that. We're just taking more values out so we get a larger footprint of stability within the connection between the numbers. I'll stop talking now.
Oh, good. I missed.
You're doing good.
I missed this weekend. Anything happened over the weekend? Anything cool? Any cool fights?
Yeah, I fell asleep yesterday during the Theo the Light. I was too tired, so I didn't finish it. It's always in the middle of the night here.
Usually, I try to listen a lot, like offline, like on YouTube or something. I've been listening a lot recently, but this weekend my phone was dead, like constantly, and just didn't get to listen much. I didn't miss anything too exciting or any reconciliations.
They started good out this time. They started explaining how they got to the thing they were building. So, but I know how it works. But you should look at it.
Oh, it snowed here yesterday for a minute in a little part of the town. It was big flurry snow. That was pretty. No more. Still no lines in the sky for over 2 weeks. There's been no lines in the sky. Still have some fighter jet sightings though.
It's totally gray here in the Netherlands.
Yeah, we had a sudden gray 2 weeks ago. We had 4 days of rain when it switched to cold, and then it cleared up. It was sunny for like a week, almost a week, and then it got like ice cold overnight. You know, it dropped like 20 degrees from day to day, and the snow came down. The whole sky was gray, like over the whole city, like the 30 miles of the city, but just in one little suburb, it was coming down like flurrying.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's been gray all day, and that sun. Normally, it always comes up in the east, and now these days it pops up in the afternoon, in just around noon, but then it's already more to the south, basically. So I don't think they want us to see the sky. I think that is the problem.
I had the moon. The moon was up here, and I need to check this pic, but it was lunchtime. It was like noon, I think.
That's the whole thing too, Don.
Yeah.
Conspiracy, man. I got you on this, right? You know about the Washington Monument, right?
Shining like hell behind the
I know
clouds, Snax.
what the Washington
Grizzle.
Monument is.
Right.
Grizzle.
What's it look like? Go ahead.
Like an obelisk.
Uh-huh. What's the obelisk look? Look, the male principle? Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So July 4th is the point in time when the Isis constellation is supposed to join with that. But we throw fireworks in the air. Thank you. Conspiracy. They don't want us to see, Chris. They don't want the stellar energy.
I got black clouds, I got white clouds, and I got no rain. So tell me that is natural.
So, can you hear me?
That's when ISIS gets the handy.
Grizzle.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're audible, Sergey.
Yeah.
Yep.
I usually I'm up early in the morning to film the sunrise, and like this morning it was kind of nice to see outside, but then it became cloudy. The sun comes up around 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, but normally I see it come over it. I live in the city, so it's always pretty cloudy here. But normally I see on the left side of my apartment building, I always see that sun coming up. I haven't seen that for days.
I have like a pretty interesting non-science experiment you can try on Stargaze if you like.
Which is?
You take a pegboard, which is like a board with like a bunch of perforated holes, or you could just take like one hole, I suppose, and a board with a hole. You let the strong sun hit this, and then you have a piece of paper some 6 feet behind it, and you're going to see like the image circle of that light have expanded greater than the circle that you started with. Does that make sense? So as the sun riseth, goes through the holeth, then broadcast onto the paper back sheet, and then you'd have a circle that's bigger than, like, let's say a 1/4 inch. It would be like an inch or whatever, 2 inches maybe on the other side. You know what I'm saying? You get like a beam expansion. Then you draw a circle around that, right? You're like, okay, this is the first time I saw you're like, the first time it projected, I'm going to draw a circle around it. You know, very easy. And then you wait until that circle is totally out of the first circle, and then you draw another circle, and you'll see that it creates like an angle, like a curve actually. And if you're actually staring at the light do it, I don't know, man. It is a very transcendental process, to be honest with you.
You've done this?
Yeah. It's almost like I feel like the whole light column itself is internally swirling around. Like I almost like I could, or maybe that's just the dust in the air and just like staring at light too long. But I thought almost like that there is a golden spiral. There is like a 1.618 swishy wish going on up in this light that is just carried in the stream. Like that phi is encoded in light somehow. And then I woke up. Go ahead.
They say the stuff's spinning. I like when you can, like, let's say you see the is it diffraction when you see the star lines coming out of a light, like let's say it's wet or at night, or you squint your eye. I get it like when I'll squint my eye, maybe at the TV or something, and you can see the lines reaching out from a light source, and then like say you squint more or less, you can start to make the line grow longer or shorter towards if you're able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the red lines over your eyeball.
I mean, I'm talking about with your eye open and you're seeing like a laser beam come out of the light source, but it's like the star, you know, like how the flare, like the flare from the light. And
Yeah, I had that once when looking and gazing in the sun, and I squeezed my eyes very tightly, and it was just like that radiation of that sunlight, that curvy, that followed the surface of your eye and went over your eye some way, somehow, like a shower.
what it makes me think how we have our eyes, the tool, and it has this certain resolution, but then like a certain wavelength or something can produce that flare, and all of it, you can see the radial lines of the flare, and yet
It acts like a toroidal with your pupil.
right, it's got to be like because supposedly the light's going like everywhere, so the fact that our eye will like make it coherent in a certain line, like there's that star around, it's just very interesting to me, like why we could see some of it, why when you squint you can grow it towards you. It's like lets you see these like aether lines to me, basically. It's just very weird.
It's weird that we have that we can see with rods and cones. Okay.
But that's the same thing. But when we have a blind spot in our sight. But if you look at how our eyes are made up, and if you look at how that sun radiates over your eyeball, but when you look at those two pupils being two black spots, that might just be the blind spots that our brain is making up in the middle, and that we truly are seeing with all the rest that is coming in, and that is just, it's a way of distribution, pulling in the light and putting it from one point to another point. Because even the focal point of our eye shows us that it is going from one point to another point, and it's all angulation basically. It's a mirror of catching light.
Yeah. Light just has that thing. It just projects itself like through a hole. Like if you have a hole and then the outside wants to get inside through the light. So like, have you ever seen that deal? Like you took a room in your house and you only like have one window with one hole, and then the rest of the room is like pitch black. like the outside will project into your room. Have you ever seen that kind of thing? I think it's cool. I would love to have a room like that.
Yeah, but even when it's pitch black, we went with high school. We went to a boat that was settled as a town, and to experience what it was to be totally blind, and it was pitch black inside of there, not a light in there. But at a certain point, your eyes still adapt to that darkness, no matter if there is light or not.
Yeah, I don't know. We have like the crazy, like, I mean, it's what maybe, yeah, like some cameras can approximate like the amount. Well, they're better actually, but yeah, some cameras can
Yeah, but
almost see
even
in
if
the
you
dark.
look at the black body, it's black because it has no surface to reflect its light on. And if you look at how light behaves in our world, and our eyes basically are just the same, it's an absorption of light.
The
And
only way that,
if you look at
like for sensor design, it's
yeah,
it's all electro optical at the end of the day to me. So, but like in a sensor design for a camera, the only way that they're able to make a camera see super good is to actually have like a backlight inside of it to supply some kind of like just basis amount of luminosity to vibe off that light. And I think that like when we're
yeah,
trying to see in the dark, you're straining your eyes. Like in some way, you're putting more available energy to it. Like you're almost like trying to overclock your sensor to focus and stuff like that. I think we're capable of these types of things in strange ways. Modifying
if you
our
look at
sensories.
black and white, black is absorbing energy and white is reflecting energy. And if you take that, even how our eyes is with the black in the middle and the white surrounding it, then it is acting like a black body, basically absorbing all the light from its surroundings and projecting it on the white.
Experiment with the hole, like you talk about with multiple holes, but like in a like in a box, like in a completely dark box, and have the front be the holes and then the back of the box, and show the circles that come out.
So we've got that circle thing going on. But think about a cuttlefish. Think about a goat. You know what I mean? They got them square deals, and they're going to see things more like probably like letterbox format. Maybe how I view the world. 2.39 to 1 or something.
Yeah, but they
Send
can
goat.
see behind their butt.
Look at their eyes. It's like they're double wide, you know what I mean? Than what you got going on. Or triple wide.
Yeah, but it's also the position of the eyes. Their eyes are more to the side of their head. Eyes are more to the front of our head.
Yeah, but they still experience reality. Like if they were bivisioned like we are, we just have a different periphery vision.
Yeah, of course.
But I would say that because of the nearly rectilinear vision that they have, it gives them certain kinds of qualities that we don't have with our binocular round approach, right? Front facing predator style. This was that? Do octopus have two? No, their side too. Octopus and goats are very similar. Not that I believe in biology, but anyway, you're going to see things in a more squared up way, so it'd be geometrically and spatially more accurate. You know, that's all I'm saying. That's why I believe goats are like they can jump on shit that you wouldn't even believe. They can climb like a fucking hare on the side of a cliff and scale up that shit. Goats are crazy with their vision, and I believe octopus are too. Cuttlefish, yeah, for sure. In fact, I'm gonna start calling goats landopusses. From here henceforth, it shall be. Did I explode your minds? You're thinking about having rectilinear vision, and you're like, "What?"
A little bit.
Like even when you look through a camera, Don, like you're not seeing. Like you think that that's how you see. Like get out of town. You know.
Oh
Your
no.
your refractive index is nothing like that. You know. Your resolve power. Sheesh. Things look different in pictures, and
Yeah,
then we try to compare them to human vision, and we're like, this doesn't match up.
Yeah, Apple
that
cameras are
meme
pretty good.
was pretty funny with that squared pupil. But with rectangular doesn't mean they have squared pupils, people. But I love the man.
At sunspots. One of the P900s was on a sun tracking mount and took a picture 1 frame per minute. That was the first video of the 24-hour sun that dropped. There's a repeating lens flare in that footage. Now over 12 hours, the angle to the sun, or over 24 hours, the angle of the sun should change, right? Because of the analemma. The sun doesn't go right back to where it was the day before. So where the lens flare appears in the frame should have changed.
Okay, I was about to ask you about that, so I'm glad you told me. Okay. So, and you're saying it stayed the same, lens flare?
Same exact lens flare, yeah.
Okay.
Two consecutive days, yeah. I think maybe you spread the time apart, you start to see subtle difference.
Yeah, so there was only 3 T900s, Jaren's, Dave McKeegan's, and Witsit's. Jaren's is missing 5 hours. Dave McKeegan's is bullshit because actually I could go into that, but I will later. But Jaren intentionally broke Witsit's P900. He like walked up to it and snapped it off the mount. Like, why is everybody just like breaking P900s in Antarctica when they go?
Well, good question is why is somebody telling you what you can and can't do with your stuff while you're on Earth where you live?
Well, it's the cold weather, you know, makes plastic brittle and snappy. I'm serious, man. How cold was it over there?
In 12 hours, Dave McKeegan's P900 footage, there's a repeating lens flare. And there was a curfew, so they all went inside. So there should be like a solid, like at least like 6 to 8 hours, I would say, of nobody being around the cameras.
Right, but there's a curfew because when the sun goes down, you're probably going to die if you stay outside. That
Yep.
I can understand, but like, oh, you're not going to take pictures and excuse you? You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do with my property.
It was a whole clown show.
Ever.
They had like batteries and boots. They had like a table with like, it was just a bunch of doofy shit.
Well, what's funny is you guys have bought the whole like, we can't go down there because we're going to mess up, right? Throw cigarette butts and trash everywhere. But you think they don't do that when they go out there? Like, they're literally criminals. Like, the groups, I would say, that take, like, some of these charters, they're part of the problem. You really think Admiral Byrd was picking up cigarette butts from his troops? No. You think anyone else is? No.
Our cameras on board, so these cameras should have, tracking abilities like a GPS receiver in it, like the type of GoPro that Jaren had, the type of GoPro Witsit had. They could have shared the telemetry data from when they were on the plane. No one did that. Not one of them. And when they came to the footage, they just pointed it out the window for 5 hours. Like, show me a compass. Show me what time it is. Point the camera at a GPS receiver. Like, do something. It's like, nope, we're just going to literally point it out the window so you can't see anything.
Ah, I see. You guys are Antarctica deniers, huh? Is that what's going on?
No, the claim is more niche than that. We don't know the time and date that they arrived in Union Glacier, and there's no evidence that they were actually looking at the real sun when they were there. And they couldn't live stream any of it for some reason. No live stream of the 24-hour sun. Just a couple hours here and there. Hey, look at me. I'm using my iPhone.
Hey, I wonder if iPhone sales went up at all. You know?
No, I keep talking. I'm not too familiar with the anti-Antarctica group.
Yeah, so like I said, the type of GoPro that they had on their chest has a GPS receiver in it. So nobody shared the telemetry data from their GoPros from when they were flying. Nobody filmed from when they went from Santiago to Punta Arenas, which would have confirmed their location in Punta Arenas at the time they claimed to have been there. There's like no evidence of that. Then they made a bunch of claims that while they were in Punta Arenas, they took videos of star trails, they shot the sunset, he used the magnetic dip compass, he used the magnetometer. There is absolutely no evidence of any of these claims. It's just stuff that was being said. Oh yeah, MC Toon said he was gonna bring a laser range finder with him and compare the distance to GPS. So he was gonna do a little experiment. Does the GPS receiver reflect the same distance as the laser range finder? So he claimed he was gonna bring a laser range finder. So de facto, he would have had to have brought a GPS receiver. There's no evidence of MC Toon using a GPS receiver throughout all the footage. I even asked him. He uploaded a video 13 days ago, 5-hour flight from Punta Arenas to Union Glacier. And I asked him, where's the telemetry to prove your location? He said, I have no telemetry. So then what kind of camera were you using on the plane? Because I'm pretty sure the GoPros everybody had came with GPS receivers. Nobody measured an altitude angle to the sun. There's literally no evidence of anybody using a theodolite app. That's the only thing we know so far is that Witsit said that MC Toon said that the elevation angle during solar noon using his theodolite app was 40 degrees. So that doesn't match the globe at all. It's like 7 degrees off. It's very wrong. And there's actually no evidence of it. So he might have just Freudian slipped, thinking that that is a qualifying globe proof when it's actually not. And then I have evidence that the elevation angle to the sun while they were there is like way more than 40 degrees. Like at one point, he angles the camera 90 degrees up into the sky. Like he points directly overhead and you could see the sun. And his camera is not in wide angle lens mode when he does it. He has it in like selfie mode. It gets worse, man. There's just like tons of stuff like that.
Dude, it's interesting. Okay, I mean, I will just take your word for it. Like for now, I don't know much about this, so
Yeah, I'm
it's
not gonna lie to
interesting.
you.
Okay, what you're saying.
So there's another thing. So Dave McKeegan brought a sun tracker mount, which would make his camera rotate 15 degrees per hour to keep the sun, you know, relatively in center frame. In Jaren's 5-hour body cam footage, Dave McKeegan walks up to him and says, "I have to keep adjusting the camera on the sun tracker mount because the sun isn't staying in center frame." Well, why the fuck not? Is your mount broken? Like your sun tracker mount is broken? Because we have footage of your sun tracker mount working apparently, but that apparent working footage, he was adjusting it the whole time. So he was shifting his camera to keep the sun within center frame. So not 15 degrees per hour. We don't know the elevation angle. We don't know if it's rotating 15 degrees per hour. We don't know if it has 11,000 to 33,000 lux. Sun is supposed to have 11,000 lux. MC Toon brought a lux meter with him, and he said, "Oh, it's 94.5 lux. It's supposed to be 11,000."
Okay, was his meter calibrated? Because you do have to calibrate those. Did he calibrate it
And
correctly?
that was his excuse. He was like, "Oh, I don't know.
Okay. See, I'm a good scientist, man. I don't know shit about this, and I could come up with decent. Because that is true. You do have to fucking calibrate it, otherwise you're just you know,
Right, so you bring a lux meter
doing
to
a
Antarctica and you don't think to calibrate it. Way to go, MC Toon, supposed
yeah,
world
that's
first
just
communicator.
you know what I mean. Like, all right, drop the ball on that big time.
Yeah,
If
he
that's
also
the
lied
case.
about bringing laser rangefinders. There's no evidence of that test. They flew on December 16th. They flew in a two-otter plane. There is no evidence. So nobody thought to bring a camera with them when they were flying over Antarctica in a two-otter. That's retarded. They literally got on a plane and flew over Antarctica, and nobody brought a camera.
Cell phone? No one's got. So, do you have cell
Nope.
phone footage of
No
that
evidence
out of the
of the
window
flight
or
on
some
the
shit?
two-otter.
Okay. Can you track the flight that they were on? Do you know what flight number?
Nah, this two-otter, it wasn't like a commercial airliner. It was just a little plane that was parked at Union Glacier.
Private? Was it? Is it a private? I mean, is there a boarding pass?
Dude, it gets worse.
I'm sort of
I'm like
like.
spitting random facts out at you, but like I have more.
I love it. I love it. I'm okay. Okay. I'm because I don't. Keep going. Keep going. Let's see what else.
All right, so
Let's
Dave
go.
McKeegan says that his camera, he has like some kind of 84 times zoom camera, which should be able to resolve something 10 miles away. And while he's using it, he says, "Oh, I can't see the Union Glacier camp with my 84 times zoom." And they say, "Oh, it must be like it's lower in elevation," like they say something like that. But then there's a 360 camera that's within the same area. Like they moved 2 miles away from the Union Glacier campsite to set up all their cameras. And while they're there, Dave McKeegan takes his 84 times zoom camera and points it towards Mount Rossman because that's where the campsite is. And he says, "Oh, I can't see it." But then we have a 360 camera that can see the campsite. Like, why can't you see the campsite when you're live, but we could see it on the 360 camera? Like, like, why can't you see the campsite? Like, I could see it so clearly in this other footage. Now, they claim to move the cameras 2 miles away because Mount Rossman puts the Union Glacier campsite in shadow when the sun is like at midnight. They said that they wanted good lighting the whole time, so they moved 2 miles away, and they were riding, you know, like bicycles and snowmobiles back and forth between the campsite and stuff. But there's such little evidence of like how they like managed this situation because they had to like drop a whole like shed, like a blue shed 2 miles away, a bathroom, like whatever else they might need over there. It's like, did you plan that before we showed up or after? Like, who negotiated the terms and conditions? Union Glacier gets obstructed. It ends up in a shadow because of Mount Rossman. When did you find that out? When did you decide that you should have this site 2 miles away? There's like no clear information on that. Like, when did they decide to set up the cameras 2 miles away? Also, there was a live stream that was up for 12 hours. John Mariande, Candace Owens' guy, Candace Owens sent Mark Herman and John Mariande to Antarctica. And John Mariande was in an interview with Flatzoid, and he confirmed, yes, there was a live stream that ran for 12 hours, and because of YouTube's limitations, that live stream went down. There's actually a bounty for that video. Like, if anybody knows how to find that 12-hour live stream from when they first got there, like, yeah, I will give you money for it. Because I know for a fact that video has some funny sun business in it. That's probably why they deleted off of every channel. But like, yeah, your first live stream when you go live in Union Glacier for 12 hours is nowhere to be found. Why? Why would you delete that? Oh, I know why. Because all these footages actually look different. Like the claimed time of day. Like, I have this video that's supposedly 24 hours, and the sky looks completely different from other 24-hour footage claimed to be taken at the same time. I got to download it on my phone right here.
Man, I would love to hear like the counter arguments, the defense to this.
Oh, yeah. No, he keeps running away. I told MC Toon and Dave McKeegan I want to debate them. Dave McKeegan backed out and ended up doing a debate with someone else the same day. Yeah, Dave McKeegan, he had to angle his camera like up into the sky to keep the sun in center frame. Okay. So then how much did you have to tilt it? Like, let us know. Like, did you have to tilt your camera from 33 degrees to 13 degrees over 12 hours? Did anybody document the actual altitude angle of the sun to tell you your geographical position? Like, depending on how much I have to angle the sun, that'll tell me my latitude. There's no evidence of anybody measuring an altitude angle. Like, what the fuck? That would tell me your latitude. Do it. You're in Antarctica. Do it. Motherfucker, why didn't you go when it was nighttime? We could see Sigma Octantis at like 70 degrees or something. I think Sigma Octantis would be at like 80 degrees in the Arctic Circle. That would have been phenomenal. That would have shut everyone up. I don't think you could fake Sigma Octantis.
Well, I mean, we've got X-Men on Earth, right? And they go to outer space all the time to save our astronauts, so I don't know.
Yeah, MC Toon, he was taking all these supposed measurements, right? It's like, oh, I did a lux meter reading. Oh, I used my theodolite app. And he wrote down all the all the readings in a brown book, and he never shared anything that he wrote down in the brown book. Well, why are you writing stuff down in a brown book? Why don't you point your camera at your meter while live streaming? Oh, look, this is the elevation angle of the sun that I'm getting live stream. Hello, look, the sun is at 33 degrees like predicted on a globe. Nothing of the sort ever happened. It just didn't happen. What I've been most interested in is this Santiago thing, because they all apparently met up in Santiago and hung out and ate food and yay, we were having fun in Santiago, and then flew to Punta Arenas. And there's like no evidence. Like nobody busted out a camera in Santiago to say, hey, look at us, we're over here. And then we're going to all go to Punta Arenas together. That's like super bizarre to me. Like, we're talking about genuine Earth curious explorers that just fail to document, like, it's pretty much like a third of their entire trip. Like, they go from wherever they live to Santiago, from Santiago to Punta Arenas to Union Glacier. So why would nobody share any evidence that they were in Santiago? Like, that's just extremely weird. I gotta take care of like a few things.
My opinion was the whole charade was a dumb idea to begin with. So now here we are at the conclusion, and it seems as though my prediction was spot on.
What did you predict?
Well, that the whole thing was going to be stupid. It wasn't going to solve anything. It was going to create more confusion and more drama. And here we are. Bro, me and you, Cyrus, would have literally done all the stuff that Homeboy's sitting here talking about if we went. We would have nothing but time to do it all.
Well, I would have done it for myself to verify it. But, you know.
Yo, Mr. MC Toon, Mr. Theodolite, Mr. Reciprocal Zenith Angles didn't bring a Theodolite. They stuffed their bags with like 7 or 8 or 10 360 cameras. And then they said, oh, there's so much stuff in our bags. We don't have room for anything else. If you look at this magnetic dip compass this dude brought, it's like this big clunky looking bullshit. That should have been a theodolite. They should have brought a mechanical gyro compass. Like, one of the most talked about globe proofs is the distance from the axis of rotation is going to, like, you know, mess with the precession of a Foucault's pendulum or a gyroscope. Nobody wanted to test Earth rotation near the poles. Nobody said, "Oh, let me bring a gyro compass. Let me bring Foucault's pendulum." Like, why didn't anybody do that?
The whole thing was a publicity stunt that went sour. Wrong people went. Wrong people were engaged.
Yeah, if y'all claim to go to Antarctica, I wouldn't have anything to doubt between Cuddles and Cyrus. Like, yeah, If you went there and did some tests, I would have to accept it.
Bro, you guys already know my bad attitude with somebody trying to give me some crap. It's like, come on. My plane, my camera, my homie, we're going. Like, get out of my way. I'm gonna run you over. And yeah, it sounds horrible, but you know, let's see, if I run somebody over, it's not that bad. But if he's standing in my way stopping me from moving, that's a crime. This is weird, bro. It's weird. You can only go to this place.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Well, bro, you can only go to this location, right? And then you can only do certain things within a range of that location. You can't really explore independently, which I can understand to some degree with the freezing weather at nighttime. But middle of the day, I got 4 hours, right? I could walk an hour one direction, an hour back, no problem. So,
I've broken steel tools in cold weather, like extreme cold weather before. Just trying to loosen up a bolt, man. It's nuts. So I understand in extreme weather things will break, camera mount and whatnot. I don't care. But what did you want done with the like P900 over there?
They brought P900s because they wanted to put solar filters and get sunspots. One of the P900s was on a sun tracking mount and took a picture 1 frame per minute. That was the first video of the 24-hour sun that dropped. There's a repeating lens flare in that footage. Now over 12 hours, the angle to the sun, or over 24 hours, the angle of the sun should change, right, because of the analemma. The sun doesn't go right back to where it was the day before. So where the lens flare appears in the frame should have changed.
Okay, I was about to ask you about that, so I'm glad you told me. Okay. So and you're saying it stayed the same, lens flare?
Same exact lens flare, yeah.
Okay.
2 consecutive days, yeah. I think maybe you spread the time apart, you start to see subtle difference.
I am no photographer, so I need to. It's a cool point. I need to verify that. And how much? Well, you would, based on that camera, how much of an angle difference of the lens flare should I expect? I need to figure it out.
Good question. I don't know the exact amount it should change in a day at that latitude.
Right. Try to figure that out. Or find other footage, right? With similar optics. Identical, obviously, would be best. Okay.
Are you talking about like the off the sun, you mean? The points off the sun?
I know what lens flare is, like off of like a light or something. You see like a straight line shooting off of it or something. Sometimes like radial lines. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's probably about like over 20 different like things that you can see in a picture that can be a type of lens flare. There are probably more than that, but just like it's unwanted like optical noise, like from it's based on like
halos and
different lenses will have, you know, because of their construction, flare differently, or
diffraction through the iris when it's stopped down that much because it's pointed right at the sun. That'll stay extremely consistent the entire time because it's a diffraction artifact from the blades of the aperture, not a shiny lens flare effect.
Right. So like they're shooting it with like a Insta360 maybe or something. I don't know what the exact camera that they're using is.
He said P900. You can look up
Insta360.
lens specs.
I don't know of any P900 24-hour time lapse. Insta360.
Oh, I don't know, man.
You could do
The other guy.
You
was
could
saying-
possibly do it.
Yeah, the footage with the
the-
lens flare that repeats
But-
is the P900 on a sun tracker mouse, so it does a 360. So
Jaren's
that's a P900.
cracker.
You know, I wonder like
No,
what the
not
output
Jaren's
is for.
P900. Dave McKeegan's.
What's up, Snax?
These electronics, dude. I've seen these guys on TikTok. They get a
For
nice amount of
sure,
gold.
if you have a mountain, but you don't have.
That's what we
mountains
were
of those
sending to
things.
we were sending mountains of it to Africa though, and they were like, "Yo,
a lot more. But you know, I've seen a show on the guy in China that was doing it, and he was like, his health was like really bad. They just like burned
Yeah.
plastic all day long and let it fall out.
It's a lot of acids, a lot of mixing and chemistry, and it takes it's a long process, and it's not really worth it. And silver is completely not worth recycling because
Yo.
Yeah, computer reset time. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hi guys. Quarter, and then I don't know. You'd never be able to like do 24 hours though.
Yeah. What would be the file size of a 24-hour capture?
I guess
uncompressed.
Well, you could downscale it. I guess you could downscale the 4K to 1080p like live, and then record it to like an Atomos Ninja with like a 2 terabyte drive and record it at 1080p. I think you might be able to get 24 hours. I'm not sure. I'd have to do the math on.
And the moment you do that, it's post-processed and therefore
it's not that
dismissible. Right? No, I'm not. I'm not saying it is.
It would be in the highest quality file. It's in a higher quality file format than the camera itself can encode. So
yeah,
that's all I mean. Like for
I'm agreeing with you.
For I don't know, just like an analysis, like color analysis, like you could do like a lot of contrast stuff, and it's a lot more. You can manipulate it a lot more than with like a low grainy like footage, but you know, whatever they did this whole thing. What was it shot on? Like a Insta360, like in the RAW format. That Antarctica stuff.
I don't know about RAW, but I know everybody had a fun time trying to process that shit through the Insta360's app after the fact because it's a
right.
bullshit.
And so, as the name denotes, it's a 360 camera, which means like it has like a particular lens design that is different than like a P900 or a conventional camera, right? Because it's the sensor and lens design combo are to get like this wide angle view. So it now has its own type of lens caustics, you know what I mean, that are going to show up at certain angles, you know, and these can be like internal reflections, actually like inside of the whatever the little plastic lens. So like light can bounce in between that for a split second and cause like a momentary lens flare. I don't know. I think there's a variety of weird things that you get out of all of those optical transforms. You get some strange flares, I think, that occur. Maybe some of them aren't even natural. They might even just be.
But that's what the interactive 360 is probably the most accurate because it's not like tracking in post. It's just two static 180-degree fields of view.
Okay, and that's not what they didn't shoot it on that. Yeah, the one that we did for the North, like I don't know, 10 years ago. That was, I think we could rotate it around in the app. That was cool.
Witsit still has not uploaded any of his, that's for sure.
The bottleneck issue is I downloaded something that Will Duffy put on Dropbox, and it looks nothing like what's on his YouTube.
I'd love to see how it differs.
Yeah, but your selective outrage is pathetic.
I don't have any outrage.
You think you have a reason to criticize my criticism.
I want to see what you're talking about. You're saying you have a thing, and I'm just curious to see it.
See what I'm talking about, because it's been 10 months and you gobbled up the absolutely fake story that's full of holes. You don't care.
False. Nice straw man, though.
You don't care to investigate their claims. Obviously, it's been 10 months and you still know nothing. So I'm here.
How long does it take? How long does it take to put together your A/B comparison?
Trying to tell me what I don't know, because clearly you don't know.
I didn't tell you didn't know anything, did I? Where did I tell you don't know something?
Right,
oh, except other than how to reply to a video.
Why didn't you guys bring any radio communications? They could have distanced to McMurdo.
Could have, if any of them had amateur licenses, which I don't think any of them did, which is unfortunate. They should have got that in advance. I agree.
So you just don't care about that.
You always wind up talking about me more than the evidence, and I think that's odd.
There is no evidence.
Oh, then you can show it.
I need to show that there's no evidence. I've done that. I explained it all.
You talked about it. Words are empty, sir. You wouldn't take my word for anything, and I rightfully so.
Remember? I already explained all the lack of evidence, remember?
You certainly said a lot, yep. You said you downloaded something from a Dropbox. Did you re-upload it? I can download it right now. Look at it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or have the link?
I don't know who
you have the link? Yeah. Classic Alec.
Oh, well, the problem is...
I could, but I'm not going to.
You don't know where to get it, because Will Duffy didn't make it public. That's the problem.
So blow the whole lid off this thing and share it for everybody to see.
But Will Duffy didn't want to share it with you.
But you have it. Like you said, you downloaded it. You have it.
Your selective outrage for me, not sharing it with you, it should be at Will Duffy.
I don't like Will Duffy. I've never been a pro Duffy, and
he's not a Duff man.
When I've just been dunking on TFE ever since it happened.
So I'll wait for that link to whatever you downloaded from Dropbox.
It's all selective outrage. Somebody points out that there's funny business. It's like, oh, but like you're pointing out that there's funny business. You're doing something wrong.
You know he's hit the end of his evidence train when he starts doing the weird voices.
How brain dead do you have to be?
That's where I start.
Away from the people making positive claims and not providing evidence.
So they definitely saw a 24-hour sun. I talked to Jonathan, who was there.
Oh, you went to the meetup he was at, right?
That is such a bullshit claim.
Yeah, a week and a half ago.
Jonathan Marianne, Ken Sowen's director, who went with Mark Herman.
Yes, I talked to him a week and a half ago.
He is on video stating that there was a 12-hour live stream that YouTube's limitations made the live go down.
But yeah, I don't care about the live stream. I'm saying that he was there and he saw the 24-hour sun.
Hold on, fake Christian. So you with your selective outrage, you don't care where that video went.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm talking about his eyewitness testimony.
All right,
He
so
said that
where's
he was there.
hearsay? Yeah,
No,
a
eyewitness
liar
testimony.
said he was there, and that's
No, he
your.
wasn't a liar.
You don't know if he was lying or not because you just believe any stupid thing that the Globe is trying to tell you.
That's incorrect.
No, it's correct. Somebody says, "Yeah, I saw the sun when I was there. Oh my god," and you just believe it with no evidence. That's a problem. There was a 12-hour live stream that doesn't exist on YouTube anymore. On
So?
Mariande confirmed, yeah, we used Starlink to go live. The live stream ran for 12 hours. YouTube cut it short because of its limitations, and you don't care where that video went.
No, because I talked to Jonathan face to face, and he said I saw the sun for 24 hours. I was awake for 24 hours in a row, and it was there in the sky for 24 hours. So you either believe him or you don't.
No, nobody believes that guy.
I do.
Yeah.
Everybody believes him. What are you talking about? This has caused
Why are you
so many
hanging out
people
with
believe him. It's
Candace
caused this huge rift in the flat Earth community, which I'm happy about, by the way.
Matt, did that guy watch like the sun re-upload like while the YouTube was down, and then reboot back up? That's what happened.
No,
right?
he saw it with his
Didn't that
own
happen?
eyes. He experienced a 24-hour sun. So did Witsit,
Yeah,
so did Jerry,
you're
and so
just
did Duffy.
relaying hearsay, which is retarded.
It's not retarded. I'm reporting eyewitness testimony. What would you like? What type of testimony do you want?
Yeah, the same guy made a testimony that they were live streaming for 12 hours. Where did that
Are you
video?
telling me that? Are you telling me video would convince you more than somebody's eyewitness testimony?
Pay attention, small brain dude.
I'm not small brain.
There was
I'm
a
smart.
live stream. Pay attention, small brain fake Christian. There was a live stream that ran
Wait, did you call me a
12
fake
hours.
Christian?
No, he called you a small
there was
brain
a live
Christian.
Keep it civil, okay? Let's keep it civil.
12
No
hours.
accusations, guys. Thanks.
Stop getting triggered because you just got dunked on in politics. There was a live stream that ran
Oi.
12 hours.
Don't bring your
exist.
baggage.
Where did it go?
It was actually on Rumble, so you didn't even get that part right. And it was because the Starlink was updating, so they canceled the live stream
Oh, it
because
was on Rumble.
the
Can you go
signal
get
went
it?
down. So you didn't even get that right. So how do
Can
we
you go
trust
get it?
anything else you say? No,
Can you go get it?
they deleted it, and it was on Rumble
They
though, so
deleted
it
it?
wasn't
Why
on
would they
YouTube.
delete it?
It was on Rumble, so you didn't even get
So
that
you're
part
an
right.
idiot with selective outrage as well. Good job, stupid.
You calling me an idiot?
I mean, for the record, I think Matthew like projects large brainness.
Did I call you
If
stupid?
anything.
Did I say anything to you to call? Yeah, good thing you muted him. Good. The guy just wants to cause problems with people.
Yeah.
One of the worst flat earthers.
Oh.
He used to troll the flat earthers all the time. I used to come in here and used to make fun of you guys all the time.
Now he's trolling us from the
He's
inside.
not a flat earther, though.
He's trolling us from
He's
the
just
he's
opposite
a fake
of the
he's a fake
majority in
flat
the
earther,
room
yeah.
at any given
He'll go
time.
on other servers and then he'll just shit on flat earthers and say how
Oh,
stupid
yeah,
they
absolutely.
are. He'll shit on the celestial theodolite.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just endless with it. He's just looking to argue with someone.
I sense some duplicity happening, but I don't want to, I don't want to think that people are being shitty or weird like that. All right.
By the way, it was interesting to speak with Jonathan. He had lots of. It's interesting to hear his stories about being in Antarctica, what it was like, the flights, all that stuff.
I mean, kind of boring, right? You're just seeing a bunch of white stuff underneath you for like hours.
Yeah, but he said it was sort of like starkly beautiful or something.
Well, sure. New lands, wakes up the adventurer in all of us, doesn't it? Do you want to go, Matthew? You gonna go cross country skiing down there?
Honestly, I don't know. It's a lot of work to go down there. It'd be interesting, but like camping in the super cold doesn't sound like that much fun.
Yeah. Not without my electronic heating suit that I had designed earlier in this podcast. But yeah,
there you go.
I don't like the cold myself. It's not an optimal thing.
Besides, it wouldn't do anything for me. I mean, I already think that there's a 24-hour sun, so if I went down there and saw it, it wouldn't change much.
But you see all the celebrity it's brought to all these other people that have just been to this location. So just by going there, you could catapult yourself up to like another echelon of popularity.
I was thinking about lopping and just fucking denying it, and maybe somebody will buy me a trip down there, so I don't have to pay for it. Get free trip because someone will be hell bent on proving it. That'd be nice.
I believe that
You
is
wouldn't like
actually
to do that? You wouldn't like to go camping in the Arctic? I think that'd be intense.
Well, of course it would be intense. I mean, they're not going to let you build a structure or set up a wigwam or something like that. Intense is mostly what they're. Oh yeah, thanks.
That was pretty good.
I think it's actually kind of, isn't it nice down there or something? Didn't they say it's like actually it's warm, right? Snow doesn't
Fuck,
even
it was
melt.
nice when they went.
You can barely get your teacup to steam up or something like that. It's like real.
That's beautiful
Yes.
skies when they went, man.
It's probably beautiful,
That's like,
Matthew. You probably get a tan. You know, you would get a tan. Not that you need
It's
one.
colder in
California,
Canada than down there, but not in the summertime. But in the wintertime, it's like minus 48 or whatever because there's no sun there.
I always wanted to go up to Yellowknife for the midnight sun time. Never did get a chance.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see the northern lights too.
I never saw the midnight sun, but we were in Fairbanks one year on the longest day of the year, and it never got dark. The sun was below the horizon, but it didn't get dark.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just Yellowknife. You get the 24-hour sun, but it's like I think it's like lit for a while there. Like you get really like super long like twilight for I think about 2 weeks or something like that. Long ago, I knew a lady up there, and I thought that'd be a fun little trip. But she likes to go in the water there. You know, they'll be like out in the middle of the night. It's like kind of lit. You know, twilight in this cold ass water. You know, I ain't built like that. You Canadians, you're a different breed.
It's my dream. Sounds amazing. People pay good money for that shit, like gold tanks, therapeutic ones. You just jump in the water for free.
Yeah, so Bull Knight, my idea is basically that like where it's cold, we'll die, especially in these polar areas. So we need boots. Where we have boots, yeah, the whole rest of the outfit, we can put an array of different Peltier junctions in the insole so as to capture the body heat, and then use the exterior cold to balance the signal so that we can get some voltage out of that. We ramp that up through a little DC to DC step up converter. We're up to 4.5 volts. We're charging our cell phones off of our feet heat. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like when we get there, we're going to get anywhere.
There you go. Yeah, maximum efficiency. Like those Garmin watches that charge off body heat, they'd be supercharged on there.
That's the thing. Like you could make a fire and use a Peltier junction to capture that heat, but it's like too hot. You actually need to cool the other side down, but you don't have that problem when it's cold everywhere.
Yeah, they make a little burner that has a Peltier on it and a battery bank that charges itself up.
I've podcasted from that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like that was my only in the desert. You can't remember your name. Yeah. But you can use a fire to stream, and that was insane. I was like, I felt like I just broke some fourth wall of technology or something. I'm using fire to podcast. This is insane.
It's all just energy transfer. Peltiers are pretty close to magic, though.
It's not that. It's just fire is a spiritual animal. It's doing shit. It's making my coffee. It lives inside the sun. Oh man.
Is it happy to sit next to? Yep.
Once I ran out of matches and lighters and stuff like that and couldn't make a fire in the barbecue to make the coffee in the morning, I started using a Fresnel lens, and I realized that the fire god lives inside of the sun. That's what I realized. But if you're out in the desert long enough, you'll feel the same way.
Oh yeah. And literally out alone in nature, underlines all my spiritual experiences, every single one.
And I only elevate fire to being a god because it can produce coffee, But I guess you could just throw the coffee in fucking water. I don't know what was such a big deal about that. Cold brew, anybody? Cold brew, that stuff works as well. Maybe there's no fire god, and I was just like malnourished. That's possible too. I'm not sure. Yeah, Matthew, I think you should get down there. You could be like a subarctic science communicator, for the masses.
I mean, it would be fun, but I'd want to go all the way to the station in the South Pole where they have running water and electricity and stuff. I don't know about camping at this Union Glacier.
Yeah, we do it like a throwback thing too, like all your titling and stuff like that. Like some old school Carl Sagan type stuff.
Did you look at CNC when you were looking at motors?
What was that? Who's that to?
Hot Mac.
Is there like a constellationary distance for GP? Like some people are really into the Orion constellation. Some people into this Taurus
That's a
thing.
good one.
They're right next to each other on the wheel. But I think that they feature in the sky prominently at different hours, maybe due to your location.
Well, and the seasons, right? That's why there's 12 constellations.
Right. Like, so if you're summer season, where it's like mostly Taurus is up above you, and like some distance away, like that's not the case. It's Orion. I just wonder what that distance might be on the ground.
You look it up in the almanac.
Like, why wasn't everybody about like the bull or the the Orion thing? Or there's all these myths of like the conflict between the two. So
yeah, Yeah, that's one of the most interesting. We'll probably never know the actual truth of it, but human history facts. The Seven Sisters, where there's only 6 stars, that kind of stuff.
Well,
It's
so
almost
there's
always
not
100.
there's no place on Earth where it's like they have certain constellations where somebody else has different constellations. Everybody sees the same constellations as everybody else on their latitude.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, like when I was in New Mexico, it was like, oh yeah, there's Scorpio all the time, and that wasn't the
Well,
case.
not all the
Maybe,
time.
well, in the summer, I'm saying for the summer months, like that maybe that featured more prominently, and that maybe at another location, like let's say um, in California, it's like 1,000 miles away or something like that. These two places, like. I think during the summer months, it's like just because of where you are on the clock, like you only get so much coverage. Scorpio, I don't even remember seeing that, to be honest with you. In that night sky, and then I don't see that here in New Jersey. So, yeah.
Scorpio's the W one, right? Looks like a W primarily. At least when you have light pollution. Could be wrong.
It's because of elevation, maybe too, or like your landforms around you. Maybe they didn't see the whole sky some places. Maybe some other places they saw the whole sky differently. Like how it is.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't see Scorpio right now. Maybe a little bit during sunrise or sunset, but you wouldn't see any of Libra right now because the sun is in Libra. So no matter where you are on Earth, you're not going to see Libra tonight.
That was one of the first, like, most obvious not true flat Earth claims from the old days. It's like, we should see different stars. What time do you wake up? Do you watch the night sky before sunrise throughout the year? If you did, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I think it's in the concept of like everything being in motion and in contrary motion and spiraling and all that stuff.
It was always qualified specifically with regards to which side of the sun we're on, like seasonally. Like, we should see a totally different sky, man. In the fall,
I guess people make that argument as well.
I don't see Orion in the summer over here. There's no way. Nope. Only in the winter. Like, the picture changes. I don't know what exactly you're talking about.
I go out the main exit of my house faces due east, and when it's dark out and I'm taking kiddo to school, I watch it get. At first, I don't see it, and then I see it get higher every time I leave for taking them to school. It's higher in the sky. It's dark.
Let's say at a given time at night, let's say fix it 9 p.m. so you could always see them, the stars. You always face the same direction. The image will shift throughout the year, right? And that's how you know which season you're in, like you said. Yeah. Okay. We cool.
There wouldn't be 12 zodiacs if that wasn't the case.
Right, man. I was like, man, what's going on here? I think it's a misunderstanding from my part. It has to be. I know that for sure. Because, like, there's no way you would say otherwise. Like, what? So, what were you guys saying? Like, see different stars? What does that mean exactly?
I'm not really sure what the. I think it's people mean things when they say words. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what they meant when they said that. For me, like depending on like how you interpret like the travel of a globular Earth through a space void and stuff, where everything else is gravitationally either working like you think it is or working not like you think it is. Yeah, it's possible that we wouldn't have this like continuous rotation of consistent constellations and stars and stuff like that, or that there would be things that would pass into view and then out of view. I don't know. Like generally, you'd have a more chaotic universe if it was to have formed from a Big Bang. Possibly that's the premise that maybe some people start with. Maybe people just talk shit too. I don't know. I'm not trying to defend anything. I just from what I'm my conjecture would be that yeah, you should see we're constantly moving around, so we should see things a little bit differently than we do. Like for instance, like the South Pole is never able to see the largest feature that we know about, which is the Hercules Corona Borealis wall. Yes, I said it. And you can only see that from the the equator and above northward. But anywhere south, you can't see it. But it's like the largest feature in the known universe. So I don't know, man. Things don't work like you think they would.
Polaris. Polaris is another example. You can't see south of the equator.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even like when I think back to my desert summer, night gazing, everything just like rotates around like it's a big record, and I can see a lot of the picture, but I can't see everything, I can see the center. I can see like, what's kind of moving around. I can see what's rotating toward me almost. Like I see everything kind of rotating and becoming larger as it gets to you. But they are in a curved line almost, Anyway, you're only getting a certain amount of constellation, so like you might get, Taurus or Pisces or the seven, whatever the seven ones is. I forget what that's called. That's like such a glittering constellation too. Like other ones don't really do the same thing either. They don't act, those star groupings don't like exhibit those super twinkles that did. I found that to be interesting. Like I would have thought that they would have been like evenly distributed, like twinklage, but that's not the case. One is more twinkly than others. And in this procession of shit that's rotating around you, eventually Orion enters the frame. And it's like an animation because like each night there's a whatever the period of nighttime is going to be, which is going to vary through the summer. And then where the location of those stars are, you see a different part of the picture exposed. Like you see more of that story exposed to you. And the Orion story is that it appears, it was there with me in the summer in California, and then it just traveled off. It was like, I'm gone. It's wintertime here. Get ready to freeze your ass off. And then when spring came around again, hey, there's that constellation. Welcome back, dude.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good trip.
Yeah, because it's off by 4 minutes every day, right? The stars don't rise to the exact same spot at midnight. They're off by 4 minutes.
You mean that in time or degree?
4 minutes in time. Like the sidereal day is not quite 24 hours.
Yeah, so like the sky's moving whatever that 4 minutes fast. Well, the star field is moving 4 minutes faster than what we would consider daytime to move, which is the standard. Timex keeps on ticking time for us.
23:56, right?
23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it's like the stars are moving plus 4 minutes, whatever. Yeah. And then the moon is moving like an hour slower than this.
Right. The moon's
it's faster, right?
29. Yeah.
It's faster than 24 hours. Yeah, because it crosses the line in 23:56. So it's quicker than 24 hours.
It rises an hour later every day. Not quite an hour, like 29/24.
Yeah, like wherever you spot the moon right now, and if you try to do the same thing tomorrow, it wouldn't be in the same spot. It would be an hour before.
You're talking about.
You have to wait another. It's always late. It's like a woman. She's getting ready. It's always an hour late.
It shifts like on the horizon where it rises from. Pretty cool. I don't know how many degrees.
It's a 3-speed cosmic transmission that we're looking at here.
Mm-hmm. Right. You have to calculate for backlash in the gears. Tolerances,
Right, but it makes sense. We're like converting like some kind of like celestial torque up into this thing that is like unchanging because nothing can affect the temperatures up there. So like it's some kind of stable mechanical system that makes us all whirligig around.
I
for
like
my
that word,
for my
man.
flat thinking. Yeah, something like that.
I am gonna steal it. Celestial torque. That is very good. I like that.
Like, was a torsion created by the like equalization of pressures and whatever temperatures and materials?
Yeah, they have quantum torque. So if they're allowed quantum torque, you can have your celestial torque. Just come up with some decent math around it, a convincing, system
I'll leave
model.
that to you or some qualified number and letter specialist. I'm the idea guy, all right? Bye, Matthew.
You have to write the book
Matthew
too, man.
unceremoniously left for that. I don't know why. Jeez. It's like, I'm sorry, if it's not anti-flat Earth, I'm not interested.
He was just here to confirm the 24-hour sun. There's an eyewitness. He knows the eyewitness that was there.
Yeah, I just think like it could be that that it's simply something to do with how light is working, and that the materials allow for the transmission of it. It's like increasing your elevation angle, increasing your elevation. Cyrus, do you know about my high plane situation story? 56,000 feet, one foggy day.
No, I do not. Oh, you've been higher than me. Okay, I am jealous now. Okay.
Regular Virgin flight, brand new plane, probably also a Virgin. I think it was really new, really nice. LED, glowy lights and stuff. Anyway, we're over Chicago. I'm looking down at Chicago. It reminds me of like a miniature model. I can see the houses and stuff like that. I can see like porch lights going on. You know what I mean? It's already dark. It's very dark. It's overcast. Everybody's putting lights on. It's 8:00 in Chicago. Pod says, "Hey man, we're gonna jump this jalopy up these clouds here because we got some turbulence." And it's like he throws that shit into low gear, man. It feels like we're taking off again from right where we were at 35,000 feet. Plane angles back. They said to put your seatbelts on and everything like that. And we climbed all the way up to 56,000 feet, leveled off, and then basically like just glided back down to 35,000 feet. And by that time, like Chicago to, it was like a hop, skip, and a jump. We were right back on the East Coast.
What plane were you in?
Don't know.
You know?
Commercial.
Interesting. Yeah, which one? Do you know which one?
Very almost like no very few passengers actually. So I think maybe it was. I don't know if it was like fully loaded. If that would have been possible.
Did you look at the telemetry on the screen?
There was like a seat rest LCD screen which had our position and
telemetry,
temperature, humidity.
Tells you your speed too.
Speed, which I think was like in the 5, 6. A lot of it. I wasn't looking at the speed at this point because I was like, holy what the fuck is happening right now? This is unusual. This is unusual as balls, dude. I've probably got my whole life and never have that happen again.
Up to 48,000, and dude just stayed there. Because when I looked at the speed,
like white. I'm just like white knuckling it for a while, and then it's
really?
like and then it starts to get bright, and I'm like, did we just die? Are we lost? Are we in lost right now? I don't know what happened. But then the sun blinds you like it was Gandalf's fucking staff, and I was a Nazgul drag. Anyways, no, it was just bright as fuck, as you can imagine. And I'm like, why is the sun back? It's nighttime, dude. What is happening right now? That's not even like I felt like I was upside down. Like I don't know what. That was very unexpected.
You were
And,
looking over the curve.
but there was no curve. There's just like a big plane of this white icy shit that like made it seem like you couldn't see the sun. And like I can see the sun, and I can see the sun reflecting on this like icy shit, like a like a mirror of the sun. You know, like it's mirroring all that shit back. That's how I can tell it's high reflectivity. And also I know it's ice, and that's high reflectivity and refractive index anyway. Pew, pew. It's now you have nighttime in Chicago, but the sun is still there. If you could raise your house like 56,000 feet, you would save on light bulbs. Is my point, and this is why the Jetsons were created. Okay, so the Jetsons, their whole design is basically to save on light bulbs. There's no other real advantage to being jacked up in the air like that. You can agree with me, right?
I think the
Where
pressure is
you
pretty
getting
low.
this like
And
huge
it's
pole
really
to put
cold
a
up there.
Jetsons thing? It's cold, yeah.
Oh, you
That's one
just need
thing.
a mirror. Okay, so just yeah, I got you. Okay, okay.
It's just bright,
Just
dude.
yeah,
It's bright up there.
just
I feel like that's
put a mirror up there. Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
so just like in
Nighttime
the
and
idea that like you could
active
watch the
daylight, buddy.
sunset. You could watch the sunset, climb a lighthouse tower, and then watch the sunset again if you had the good legs. You know, you're quick.
Well,
That kind
according
of
to
idea.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're only like a millimeter off of a beach ball, so it shouldn't change much, right? What you can see through the sun, like the sun and shit. I don't know.
But yeah, according to science, ball science, like yeah, that sun should have been around the ball, and I should have seen like perhaps a line of demarcation, you know, shadow of day and night and stuff. Maybe I should have seen that. Didn't see that. Instead, I saw like a hot spot. I felt like I was in a dog cam, you know, but in human form. It was cool. I had fun. And I thought no one will believe this ever.
That's cool. Wouldn't be nice to film that.
Did you get this? Yeah. Did the sun come back when you went to 46,000 feet, or were you in that situation where that could have
It was
happened?
like a 48. I think it was daytime the whole time over the ocean. So the whole time the sun is up. It's bright. But I only noticed that we're going up that high because I looked at the speed. It was 0.96 Mach. I was like, all right, bro, this guy's booking it. Which I was like, oh, we must be high, right? Flying really high for the Mach number to be that close to 1. And yeah, sure enough, I was like, oh my god. And you just kept it there the whole time. It's like, cool. It's over the Pacific from Japan.
Yeah, I was freaked out though because it was like I was on my El Cheapo wing seat basically. So like when those engines started roaring back up and we're ready, like already high up, you know, like it was pretty freaky. And the whole plane just tilted back. I was like, whoa, this is some maneuver right here. Yeah, but so in theory, to sum it up, you can get like 4K video out of a P1000 if you have an external recorder. So that's terrific.
Okay, cool. And it doesn't record in that, or does? When you
Yeah, you'd be recording to like something like that's near a raw file format.
I got to learn about photography when I use my C4
Yeah, it's
camera.
just a weird way to.
DSLR.
Yeah, it's more like for production type stuff.
See.
It's like
I might have one of them mini HDMI cables. I think I do.
I don't know. I don't know what the output is for
It's a
that.
mini or micro or some shit. HDMI.
Yeah, got to do your cable learning.
Yeah.
But if like ultimate quality of image,
We don't have optical cables out yet for transmission, data transmission. Just look up the light wire. So